Radical, another name for square root. Teachers often use the word, quote, exponent, end quote, to mean both the term and the power. As an example, given the term x to the power 2, teachers often call the overall term an exponent, and the power 2 an exponent. It might be a little clearer to call the overall term an exponent, and the number raised into the superscript position the, quote, power, end quote. We might say, quote, given the exponent x squared, x is the base and 2 is the power, end quote. Raising a number or a variable to a power tells us to multiply that base by itself that many times. So, x squared is x times x, and 5 to the power 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, or 125. The opposite of a power is the root. The opposite of a power 2 is a 2 root, parentheses, also called a square root or radical, end parentheses, and the opposite of a power 3 is a 3 root, parentheses, also called a cubed root, parentheses, and the opposite of a power 4 is a 4th root, etc. In math, we like to go forward and then we have a reverse. Consider students first learn addition and then learn subtraction. Subtraction is the reverse of addition. Other forward/reverse operations or procedures include but are not limited to multiplication/division, power/root, distribution/factoring, sine/arcsine, etc. When it comes to a power, root is the reverse operation. Students might be a little confused at first because they may learn given an x, if we raise the x to the power 2, parentheses, x caret 2, and parentheses, we go forward, and that the root of x squared, or a 2 root, parentheses, or square root, or radical, end parentheses, is the reverse, taking us back to x. Students do not initially learn this as a 2 root, but the terms, quote, square root, end quote, and, quote, radical, end quote, are the most used. Furthermore, because we leave the 2 off of the symbol, parentheses, if no root number is defined, it is a 2 root, or square root, or radical by default, end parentheses. Students aren't thinking to the next power root combination, or alerted that one even exists. That is, raising a value to the third power, x power 3, can be reversed with a root 3, or 3 root, or a cubed root, the cubed root of power 3, to get back to x. It often additionally eludes students as to why a base to the power 2 is called, quote, squared, end quote, and a base raised to the power 3 is called, quote, cubed, end quote. The reason is because the area of a square is calculated by multiplying the base times the height, and since the side lengths of a square are equal, we find the area by the side length raised to the power 2. Likewise, the volume of a cube is length times width times height, and since all side lengths of a cube are equal length, we have parentheses side length and parentheses raised to the power 3. So, quote, squared, end quote, is raised to the power 2, and, quote, cubed, end quote, is raised to the power 3. Radical is one of the several names of the opposite operation of a power 2. Synonyms: 2 root, root 2, root, parentheses, if not denoted the default is a 2 root, end parentheses, square root. Antonyms: 3 root, 4 root, etc. Related words: superscript, subscript, square, cube, area, volume.